Welcome back, Scorpio. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love, and today we're going to do your September 2021 Love Tarot reading. I took a short break during August. If you follow my channel and you saw my latest video, I talk a little bit about what was happening with me. Right now, Saturn sitting in Aquarius is squaring my moon. It's been doing this all year. My moon's sitting over in Taurus, and I'm a Cancer rising, so I'm ruled by the moon. And the Saturn-moon combination oftentimes produces some really low energy. It can be repressive, oppressive, depressive. So I just had to take some time out for myself. But I am back, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the astrology before we get to the tarot. And then we'll do your tarot reading for September. It's basically mid-September, but I just needed to take some time off. So let's talk Scorpio, because there's some big things happening with you. Venus, the planet of love, harmony, beauty, negotiation, sensuality, fairness, is in your sign. It's traveling through Scorpio right now, and it's going to be there for about another 3 weeks or so. And generally speaking, having Venus in your home sign makes you more attractive. It brings popularity, makes you more cooperative with others. Things just seem to go more smoothly, generally speaking. But there's one serious caveat to this, Scorpio. Venus rules your opposite sign of Taurus. And when she's in your sign, she's called debilitated. She's in a depressed state. And you're ruled by Mars. That's your ancient ruler. Pluto is your modern ruler, according to some astrologers. So here, when Venus is in the house of Mars, especially in Scorpio, she tends to bring out some of the shadow qualities. And Scorpio, you know this better than anyone. You have this very investigative, skeptical nature to you. You're always digging deeper. That's part of the Scorpio nature, about transformation, death, and rebirth. But here, Venus tends to have some shadow qualities. So while you could bring in some really intense lovers, intense relationships, Venus also tends to be more of this darker nature. So she can be a little vain at times, jealous, possessive, trying to uncover hidden motives. So she has a little bit this darker quality to her while she's traveling through your sign. So you need to be really careful of these particular qualities. And these are known Scorpio qualities, by the way. Having a little bit of a jealous streak, can be a little obsessive at times, maybe a little bit vain, lustful also. So you have to really grapple with some of this energy that could be coming your way. And the reason why I say that is right around September 23rd, I'm going to fast forward just a few weeks. We have a really big, we have some big aspects happening. So Venus traveling through your sign is going to be making an opposition to Uranus, the planet of liberation, freedom, rebellion, innovation, but it's really about breaking free of old patterns of the past. And Uranus right now is sitting in your opposite sign of Taurus. And Taurus is your 7th house of marriage, one-on-one relationships, legal contracts. So the two, the love planet and Uranus coming together in this opposition, it means tension between you and other people. It could mean wanting to break free of a relationship, breaking up a relationship. Something needs to change within a relationship. So you need to be really conscious of this energy. It's right around the 23rd that this is going to be perfecting in the sky. But the energy right now is slowly building up to what could be some jolting, shock and awe moments. Could be. But really, it has to deal with potential partnership, not issues, but it could be things that are already on the rocks, do fall apart, and things that need reworking come to light during this time. Now, Mars, your ruling planet, just moved into Libra today. And I'm doing this video on September 14th. Mars is going to be in Libra for the next 6 weeks. Now, Libra is also a sign ruled by Venus. And Venus right now is in your home sign, the 1st house, and then rules the body, your image, your presentation out into the world. But the two are called they're in mutual reception to one another. So Venus sitting in Scorpio, ruled by Mars, Mars in Libra, ruled by Venus. So the two have this effect where they're talking to each other in mutual agreement. But right now, Mars is in a depressed state, also in a sign of debilitation, over in Libra. And that's our 12th house. It's 12 signs past Scorpio. And the 12th house is tricky. I always say it's the house left to the universe. Oftentimes you'll hear astrologers talk about the 12th house being a house of research, introspection, confinement, and isolation, but it's also known as a house of intimacy, self-undoing, and self-sabotage. And Mars is this action planet. It's assertive, it's aggressive, it's pioneering, it's courageous, and it's in that 12th house of hidden things. So right now you have to be really careful of the two. Just digging up things that you normally wouldn't be sticking your nose in. And let me explain a little bit further. Mercury, the planet of communication, what's on your mind, it's your thoughts, it's your ideas, it's merchants, it's channels of all type, is also in Libra, and it's going to be stationing retrograde right around the 23rd. The same time, Venus is going to be making this opposition over to Uranus. Mercury's traveling through Libra right now. It's going to station direct right around the 22nd, and it's going to be making what we call a hard square, a 90-degree angle over to alchemical Pluto, which is your modern ruler sitting over in Capricorn. Capricorn's your third house of communication. You have the 12th house and the third house being activated here, hidden things and communication. Mercury is going to sit basically on this square over to Pluto for about a week until it starts moving backwards in the sky. Now, it's an optical illusion. It's not actually moving backwards in the sky. It's based on Earth's rotation around the sun, its orbit. It just looks like right now it's moving backwards in the sky. Venus is this planet of communication. It's always a time of review, reflection, realigning. But it has a lot to do with your thoughts. And it's in that 12th house of self-sabotage. Confinement, isolation, hidden things, hitting that third house of communication. So when I see this, and I see this happening with this aspect, this opposition between Venus and Uranus, you really need to be careful about digging in places that you shouldn't be digging, i.e. someone else's phone, for instance, Scorpio. You are the investigator. You like to dig deep. You like to uncover things. That's part of your nature. But in this case, you really have to be careful about not sticking your nose into places it shouldn't be stuck. And I'm telling you that because I also have planets sitting in Scorpio. I have my natal Mars in Scorpio, and I also have Pluto in Scorpio. I have a lot of heavy Scorpio energy. I'm a lawyer by day. I investigate. I dig things up. So I'm telling you this as a fellow Cancer, but also a strong Scorpio in my own chart. Got to be really careful about sticking your nose in places you don't necessarily want answers to, or answers that you know you're not going to like, because it could bubble up and it could produce some really explosive energy within relationships. And remember, Mars is in the sign of Libra, which is a sign of relationships, partnerships. Got to be careful here. So I'm just going to let you play this one out, keep me informed. Some of you are going to ignore my advice and do it anyway. Some of you are going to listen to this video. It's going to pique your interest and you're going to start digging. I have to caution you, just don't do it, because there's this element of self-sabotage involved in here, communication you don't necessarily want to see. I think it has to do with people's phone, what's in text messages, maybe it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But I'd say leave it alone. You're not going to want to see it. It's going to dig up things you don't want to deal with, and it's going to have something to do with partnerships, perhaps. So I'm letting you know this. Venus is in a debilitated state in your first house. 7th house is being activated right now with Uranus, that opposition between the two. And then Mercury retrograde in that 12th house has a lot to do with feeling confined, feeling isolated, research, communication, things you don't see coming. It's a hidden house, and it's hitting Pluto over in your 3rd house of communication. So take a deep breath, Scorpio, things are going to be fine, but it's going to be a bumpy September and October. And Mercury starts his retrograde cycle on the 29th, and he'll be retrograde for 3.5 weeks until he starts moving forward again. So keep that in mind. Some heavy things are coming up for you. Keep your nose out of trouble. Don't be digging around where it shouldn't be dug. Okay, so that's my piece of advice for you, Scorpio. All right, so let's do the tarot. We're going to do a 6-card spread today. It's a modified Celtic cross. Keep in mind, these are general readings. The messages won't resonate with all of you. This is for a Scorpio Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Take a look at your rising, Moon and Venus signs. If it's not Scorpio, sometimes those messages will resonate more with you. If you like these videos and like to see more of them, please click the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel and it's very much appreciated for me, and you get to see more of my smiling face. And I'm dressed up today. I had big work stuff, so you get to see me in lawyer mode. So let's see what's going on with you, Scorpio. 7th house of partnerships is going to be activated. Oh, and Venus is also going to be making a square over to Taskmaster Saturn, sitting over in your 4th house of home, family, and partnerships. So there's this loose T-square happening between you, partnerships, and home. Looks like a T in the sky. I always say it's kind of a timeout. Sometimes it represents a lot of tension between all three. So that's you, others, home. Something might be in the mix there too. That's going to be right around, mid-month, so about a week or two. But I think the big one here is that Venus-Uranus opposition. It only happens once a year. It happens to be in your 1st house and the 7th house of marriage, partnerships, legal contracts. So see how this all turns out. Stay positive. Not everything's bad here. Sometimes you get triggered, but it's pointing you to where you are triggered. And you can understand some of your shadow qualities through being triggered. So it's not always the worst thing, but everyone's gonna go through it. You're not alone. It just happens to be in your sign. So let's see what's going on with you, Scorpio. I'm gonna pull one card from the angels for the overall energy and the messages. I'm gonna do that first. One more shuffle here. The angels, a nice shuffle. Okay, I feel good about that. All right, here we go, Scorpio. First card out, this is general energies. Codependency, addictions are affecting your romantic life. So this is interesting because I was talking about the 12th house. That's where Mars is sitting. That's where Mercury will be retrograding at the end of September through October. The 12th house, in addition, it says it's self-sabotage. The ancient astrologer says this is self-sabotage. This is a house of isolation and confinement. Oftentimes, it's also a house of escapism, and it's associated with drugs, alcohol, sex, and things that you escape through to escape reality. It's a hidden house, and these are all themes that you wouldn't necessarily see out in public. So you really have to take a look at codependency. Is there a codependent partner? Are you too codependent on another partner, and it's in you or the partner is wanting to break free? That's that Venus-Uranus opposition that's going to perfect in the sky right around the 23rd. And then Mercury retrograding through that same area of that 12th house is going to bring a lot of things to light. It's messages, it's communication, it's thoughts, and it's hitting Pluto, which is a planet of unseen things. It's the underworld. Sometimes it can be unseemly. Sometimes it really brings up a lot of deep, intense feelings. So codependency, you're going to have to watch for this one. Let's see where that's going. All right, Scorpio, general energy is the first card out. High Priestess. Yeah, you're gonna have to use your intuition here. Open up that third eye chakra. I will talk a little bit more about that. This is what's crossing you. Page of Cups, Destiny, 3 of Cups, Distant Past, 8 of Pentacles, Recent Past, King of Wands, Outcome, yeah, the Moon. Okay, so you have a lot going on here, Scorpio, and I kind of figured that might be the case. So let's start at the center of the reading, because I think this is where you really are going to have to focus your energy for the rest of September and probably through most of October as well, because that 12th house, it's a tricky house. It's not an easy one. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up. And I always say it's the house reserved to the universe because these are lessons that we have to all go through. It's one of these things that can be really tricky. I've had relationships break up in that 12th house. And honestly, part of it was my own doing, my own insecurities, my own inability to see that I'm worth it. And because of it, I kind of shot myself in the foot. So that aside, I'm giving you that as context for what I've learned about that 12th house. But here it is. It's the High Priestess. The High Priestess oftentimes represents a Pisces. Could also be a Cancer to a certain extent. But the High Priestess has secrets. She's extremely intuitive. She doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve. And this is kind of like you, Scorpio. You don't necessarily always show your feelings. You tend to keep them in. You tend to analyze the situation first. And then if you feel comfortable and if your values align with the other person, then you tend to come out of your shell a little bit. But Pisces is the 12th house on the zodiacal wheel. It's the last sign of the zodiac. The 12th house is being activated by Mars and Mercury right now. So you're going to have to open up that third eye. You're going to have to be intuitive about the situation and listen to your intuition. And you have great intuition, Scorpio. You are a water sign after all. So it's going to ask you to open up that third eye. So what I want you to do over the next couple of weeks is when you have a break, when you're at home, go onto YouTube, look up third eye chakra healing music and start just playing it. And that's going to help you open up what we call the third eye. And that opens up your intuition. You're going to start receiving messages. You're going to start seeing things clearly because there's going to be some really crazy messages coming your way. And the reason why I say that is what's crossing you is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is communication of some type. And it's an emotional communication. Cups represent emotion. Again, this could be a Pisces in your life, could be a Scorpio or a Cancer. I'm going to get back to something. My guides are telling me something, but I want to finish this thought first. But this is an emotional communication that's going to be coming through. And like I said, that it's things unseen, things that are looking beneath the surface with that 12th house. It's a hidden house, like I've mentioned. But this could also be an unexpected apology as well. So some of you might receive an unexpected apology that is due to you. Others of you, you might need to be really careful with your words here. We all know that Scorpio has that stinger when you're triggered. So be sure you're tempering your words here. Be sure you're not digging in places you shouldn't be digging. I keep saying that, but it needs to be said. Because I think there's going to be some really emotional conversations coming up for you over the next couple of weeks, if it hasn't happened already. Some of you, this is only for some of you, either a family member, a friend, or a partner is pregnant, okay? That's just for some of you. That's not for all of you. And the reason why I say that is the pomegranates in the background of the High Priestess caught my attention. And then it's also paired up with the page. And the page oftentimes represents children as well. So there could be an element of children involved with this, if you're dealing with someone with children. But others of you, there could be a pregnancy involved here. Maybe an unexpected one. Okay. So keep that in mind, those two together. Otherwise, some of you are going to have to use some intuition about some really emotional conversations coming your way. Now, I'm looking at the future card here, and I see the Three of Cups, and I see a lot of cups here. We also have the Moon, but the Three of Cups in the Destiny position is a card sometimes of celebration. So some of you might be actually celebrating a pregnancy. Some of it's unexpected. Could be, like I said, it could be a friend, it could be someone within the family. Others of you, this communication is going to be related to a potential third-party situation. And the reason why I say that is the Three of Cups sometimes is three's a crowd. And you have secrets coming out here because you have the Moon card as the outcome. So if it's this codependency issue coming up here, hidden things, someone else being codependent on a partner, that's cramping your style. Others have addiction issues, possibly to sex. Some of them might have addiction issues that they've been hiding with drugs or alcohol. Cups oftentimes can represent too much to drink. 3, partying too much, drinking too much, going out really late. coming home at all hours of the night, text messages at all hours of the night, that, you know, all of those things coming about right now. So I'd say it is what it is, right? A little bit too much celebration, perhaps. Like I said, for others of you, this actually has to relate to a child, or an unexpected pregnancy. Now, in the distant past, you've been working hard. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of working hard. You've been wanting to build something up in this relationship, propping it up, healing old wounds, healing old issues, addressing perhaps this codependency issue, working hard at it. And the hard work pays off, but it never ends. The hard work doesn't stop here. Relationships are difficult. You got to continually give and give and give. But at the same time, you got to get some back too, Scorpio. So remember that. If it's someone else just taking, and you've had enough, you got to make that decision for yourself. If it's too much work and you're not getting enough back, you got to make that decision for yourself too, whether or not it's worth it. Because at the bottom of the reading here is the King of Wands. Could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius that you're dealing with here. And generally speaking, the king is bold. He's assertive. He goes for what he wants. He's magnetic. He can sometimes be the life of the party. But here I think it's telling you, you need to take control. You need to take control of your life. You need to ensure that you have your own individuality within a relationship, but also have an identity within a partnership as well. And Mercury going retrograde in Libra, the number one thing about Libra that they have to learn is to not sacrifice their own identity for the identity of a partner. They have to deal with codependency. And I think that's what this is all about. You just lapsing into this identity of a partner. And it's you realizing you gotta take some back here. And this is what this card is telling you. Don't sacrifice yourself and your values for someone else if it's not aligned with where you're at, especially if there's whatever this is. And that's going to be different things for all of you. But generally speaking, sometimes it's celebration. Other times in a love reading, when there's codependency, I'd say there could be something else is going on with someone. So keep that in mind. Now, the outcome here is the moon. And the moon is a card of secrets. It's things unseen. It's hidden matters. It's hidden matters coming to light. And there's not much more I can say about that, to be quite honest. I think you will know what this situation is all about for you. Some of you will find out about a pregnancy. Again, maybe not you, but someone that's connected to you. Others of you, it's potentially a third-party situation. And again, it's digging. There's an element of digging here that you have to be really careful of. But the other thing is, it's going to come to light anyway. If it's an addiction issue, you're going to have to deal with this. That maybe someone was really trying to keep this hidden, partying too much, drinking too much, putting too much, up their nose. And now it's time, to deal with that. And you're going to have to decide whether or not it's worth it, Scorpio. I'm going to pull one more card for the moon. Please clarify the moon for Scorpio. Yeah. 5 of Cups. So it's disappointment. Some of you are already going to know what the situation is. Perhaps the other person was telling you they're working on it, they're getting better, going to meetings, whatever it might be. But I don't think so. Not based on this. This is a letdown. This is disappointment. And it's the man walking away from a situation, and there's still emotional attachment to this situation. 2 cups are standing, 3 cups are spilled. So it's just one of these things, Scorpio, and I'm not picking on you. I knew this was going to be a tough reading based on the astrology of what's happening, but everyone goes through this. We're all going to be going through these same transits, but just in different areas of life. For you, it just happens to hit your relationship houses. Take it a step at a time. Open up that third eye chakra, like I said, YouTube, third eye chakra music, and allow the mind to settle. And I know that's going to be difficult for you because you have a very active mind. You're constantly questioning things. And I think what you're going to have to do here is learn how to stop the obsession, stop the questioning, stop the skepticism, and let the mind just be for a little bit. And clarity is going to come to you with what to do. I guarantee it. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you found it helpful, Scorpio. As always, if you're looking for a personal reading, my email is in the description box below. I wish you the best. Take care.